So I just want to show you guys why, or the difference between bursting, tapping, and spraying, and why it's important, and sort of what strafing, strafing sort of has a play in that too. Well, it has a huge role in all three of those. So when you spray, you're generally going to be standing still like that, or you're going to be crouching. You're going to be crouching, or you're standing still. Sometimes you might do a little bit of moving around, but generally you're gonna be completely still. You're gonna be a super easy target to hit. So if you mess up your spray, the other enemy just has good aim, you might be screwed. So if you're bursting, it allows you to move around a whole lot more. So you can move around, you're free to move around, right? So this is because of strafing, because when you're strafing, you can sort of shoot as much as possible while still being accurate. So let's say I'm moving to the right. If I press my opposite key, so if I press A, then I'm fully accurate. So that allows you to sort of tap or burst a lot while still moving around and being a difficult target. So that's a super important mechanic in this game. So let's say there's someone mid double doors and there's someone on cat, right? Or someone not peeking on cat, and this guy is like jiggle peeking you mid double doors, and you want to try to kill him, right? So you're gonna, let's say you just YOLO spray the doors, right? He comes in, and then as you're spraying, the guy on cat peeks you, right? So if you're bursting, you can just quickly snap up there and kill him. But if you're spraying, you have to do your shitty spray transfer up here, It's pretty hard, unless you're, pretty damn good. So, in general, if you have a chance of having to encounter multiple opponents at the same time, strafing, at least in far different locations, spraying can be kind of risky. Because you're just totally stuck, especially if you crouch it. You're totally stuck right where you are. My spray is really off right now. So you're totally stuck right where you are, you can't move around, and it just really limits you. So that's an example of why you might want to burst versus spray. An example of why you might want to tap is for a pre-fire, right? So if you think there's someone here, if you just, that was bad. You can just tap him and just hit his head off before he even has a chance to react to you. So that also has to do with strafing, right? Because you can't, if you try to tap without strafing, and you have good reaction time, you're gonna tap before you're even fully accurate. So if you mess up your strafe, tapping is not a good thing, right? So this is one of the reasons tapping isn't really recommended for especially for lower level players. Because if you can't strafe and you try to tap, you're just not gonna be accurate. If you do strafe, you're going to be so much more accurate. You're really going to be, but then again, if you're strafing like that, why not just burst, You have, higher DPS, higher, if you miss your first bullet, the inaccuracies in the next one might help you hit the head. So that's just my opinion. I think pretty much almost every situation where you can tap, bursting is almost always better, except for pre-fires. So let's say you're not. Okay, so let's say instead of going around that corner while tapping, you're going around spraying. Even if you miss your first bullet, right? So you miss your strafe, you miss your first bullet. If you keep spraying, the next ones will still go in the general direction of where you're aiming. So that's another reason that you might want to spray a lot more than burst. So clearly strafing is hugely important when it comes to this. So if you can't strafe, that really might be it. You might think, oh, I have good spray control, I have good aim, but I just can't. Whenever I shoot my opponent, it feels like my bullets are going through them, right? You might just literally be missing them because you can't strafe, where you're shooting a second too soon or a second too late, or too late wouldn't matter that much. Sometimes if you switch directions really fast or something, it might be inaccurate. But that's the general idea of why strafing is super important when it comes to bursting and spraying and tapping. So in general, you should never tap. Unless you're, pre-firing. Obviously if someone's standing still and they're not looking at you, definitely attack them, you know, go ahead. Or if you want to be a show-off, you know, you can straight wreck someone right here. But if you want to maximize your chances of hitting someone, even if you mess up. So basically, you're giving your best chance of hitting someone. Even if you miss the first 2 bullets, your next ones are going to be going right there. Obviously, it's preferable to not miss the first 2 bullets because they're super important. They're the easiest to control. They're the most accurate, and you know, if the enemy if you have better reaction time than your enemy, those 2 bullets are gonna, you know, go off before they even start to shoot you. So if you hit their head, they won't even hit you. So it's so important to be accurate as soon as possible. So that's sort of why strafing is immensely important, and why you should definitely practice it all the time and try to be best possible. I can still improve. I can still do it faster. And I'm still working on it. I'm alright. Anyways, thanks for watching.